Welcome to the work phase. We're all in lockdown at the moment, and there's one question that keeps coming back. That question is probably the question I'm asked more than any question at any time, to be honest, and that question is, how can I see a spaceship? It's not straightforward, folks. Steve your dog has got the answer, and if you follow this guidance in fact, and download an app that I'm going to show you, other apps are available, then tonight you can go out and see a real live spaceship. Don't go anywhere, just get this app. How do you find a spaceship then, folks? So this is genuine, this is real. You need to find this app first of all. It's called Heavens Above. You can get this on Google Play Store if you've got an Android. You might be able to get this in an iOS store if you've got an iPhone. I'd imagine you can. And what this does is this gives you, I'll show you now, a live sky chart. So there it is at the moment. Now this is in the day, so the sun is out, but later on in the day what you'll find is on the left there you'll see the moon and Venus. You will get a good view of this tonight. So let's just have a look at what's happening with the events today then. So today sunset is at 9:47 and then twilight at 20:20. So this is when, around about after twilight, that's when you want to start looking for satellites. That's effectively what we're doing. We're looking for different types of satellites. And the reason you want to look from then is because early evening is because then the sun's gone down. So we're in the shadow of the Earth, but the satellites going over our head are still actually in the sunlight. So they're going to give good reflections, and that's how you can see. Whereas if you go later in the night, they might be in the shadows themselves, so you won't see any. So tonight, what is actually happening? So I'm going to zip you right on down to the big thing that we want to see, which is the International Space Station. So that is the spaceship that I'm talking about. And this is quite impressive to see. And it is a little bit more impressive than just a regular satellite. This app allows you to see details of each of the satellites coming through. You can see their orbit. So that's their orbit path there at the top. And we can see their orbit beneath. So we can then get information to tell us the speed of them. So this one here, for example, is, let's have a look, the orbit there is going at 7.2 kilometers per second, that one is. And this one was actually launched in 2003, and it tells you who launched it and all that sort of stuff. So you can see here on the list all sorts of things. There are regular satellites, there are pieces of rockets that were sent up in the past, and of course the International Space Station. So you can see genuine rockets, but the space station is going to be the brightest because it's the biggest item up there that we can see. This orbit of the ISS will not always be going over the UK. The route it takes, the wave it takes effectively changes. So we'll see it for a few days, then it'll disappear for a little while, then we'll see it again. So if we look back here and just look at the ISS in terms of when we can see it. So if I go right back to the start, ISS, we can just do a click on there. So we can see it Wednesday night, 21:36 it's going over. We can see it tomorrow night. We can see it Friday, and we can see it on Saturday. Last night we could see it twice, but then after that, we ain't going to see it for a little while. It's going to go out of range for us. So how do you actually use this app when you go outside to see these objects flying overhead? First of all, take your phone off landscape mode there, so it doesn't, so off auto mode, so it stays in a fixed position, as fixed orientation. So then what you'll do is when the ISS is coming over, you'll actually hold it up to the sky. But as I'm holding it and moving it around, if you have the orientation on automatic, it might switch orientation, which makes it difficult. Go out tonight, hold this up to the sky and orientate it in a way where you can see the moon and where you can see Venus. So you'll see Venus as a quite bright, looks like a star to the right. So you're looking in a westerly direction, a sort of southwesterly direction. You'll see the moon, you'll see Venus. So orientate your phone and hold it up so that they're in the same, on the same angle as what you can see in front of you, and then you can then see the arrow going through, and that will show you the route that satellite, in this instance the ISS is going to be making, and then you can use these 2 points on here to give you an indication of where that satellite is likely, its potential route that it's going to be going, the path that it's on, its flight path effectively. It is possible to see other satellites as well as the International Space Station when you go outside at night. Some will be brighter than others. The ones that aren't very bright, so if I go again, nightly events, the ones down here that aren't very bright, let's get down to where we said we were going to be. When you look at it, it will actually on here tell you the intrinsic brightness of each of these, the maximum brightness. This gives you a clue of how bright they are. What some of these will look like is the very faintest star, the faintest aeroplane. Of course, there's no airplanes hardly up at the moment in the sky, and there's no lights flashing on these dots that are very fine and moving across the sky, and also you won't hear anything either, so that's a good indication that it is a satellite. So you have to really be eagle-eyed to spot some. Binoculars might help, but to be honest, you ain't going to need them for the ISS, because that'll be like a bright star moving across the sky, and I would say it would take about 2 to 3 minutes to come in to sight to disappear out of sight. So get out tonight, see a spaceship. Have you ever seen a spaceship before? Not talking sci-fi here, we're talking real deal spaceship. Have a go. It's free. What have you got to lose? Catch you guys on the rockin' and rollin' spaceship, mayship, hey ship flip side.